Now, in terms of the brow lift, there are different approaches, obviously. There's something that I think you were hinting at, which is the kind of coronal incision that goes all the way across. It's a little bit of a dated approach, not really done much anymore. I do that type of approach when I'm lowering someone's hairline, right?
Okay.
I need
Okay.
to lower the hairline.
Right, right.
And sometimes with that, I'll do the brow lift as well. So I can do that in combination for the right person, right? So you don't need that, obviously. So for situations such as yours, where we're trying to get to the medial brow and the lateral brow, basically what works best is a endoscopic-like approach. However, I find that you don't necessarily need endoscopes, if that makes sense. So the incisions are similar. They're small incisions, usually about 4 of them. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And you just need them to be big enough to get instruments in.
Okay.
A lot of the procedure, especially the stuff that goes on here, a lot of it is by feel. Visualizing doesn't tend to help a whole lot more than just feeling and releasing the tissues.
Okay.
Out on the side, it's helpful to visualize for the start of the procedure, and then the rest is mainly done by feel. And the results are no different than using endoscopes. So that's my view on endoscopes. Endoscopes, it's a bigger sort of setup, and it doesn't really help a whole lot. So that's what, some surgeons are finding. It used to be that, you had these very aggressive approaches. Then we moved to like small incisions and endoscopes. And then as a community, a lot of us have realized that, you don't really necessarily need the endoscopes, and you can do a lot of it with just small incisions. So that's the brow lift. Again, you just have to realize that it's not going to get rid of every line that's on the skin, but it can help. And the key thing, of course, is not to elevate the brow so that it doesn't look artificial.